Today, I want to speak to the heart. Not the polished version we show on social media, but the honest, raw, sometimes weary heart that beats inside us all. That heart which longs to love and be loved, which hopes for connection, for someone to say, "You matter to me. I will treat you well." We are wired for love, but sometimes, in the pursuit of that love, we ignore the signs telling us we're heading into harm's way. Today, we're talking about relationship red flags. Not just in romance, but in any relationship where love is exchanged. Friendships, partnerships, family, or even work. And we must talk about it, not to shame, not to accuse, but to awaken. Because silence has kept too many people in places they didn't deserve to stay. And love, real love, should never come at the cost of your dignity, your peace, or your identity. Red flags are not small things. They are warnings, not because you're weak, but because you're worthy. They're not about making you paranoid, they're about making you prepared. Because sometimes, the most dangerous thing isn't when someone screams at you. It's when they smile while slowly breaking you down. Let's start with what a red flag is. A red flag is a consistent pattern of behavior that diminishes your sense of self, your autonomy, or your emotional safety. A red flag isn't a one-time mistake or a bad day, it's a repeated wound. It's dishonesty you've started to normalize. It's control masked as care. It's criticism disguised as just being honest. A red flag can look like a partner who constantly belittles you but says, "I'm just trying to help you grow." A friend who always takes but never gives, and guilt trips you when you set boundaries. A boss who undermines your voice and calls it constructive feedback while steadily eroding your confidence. Red flags are subtle at first. They don't come waving giant banners. They whisper, "Maybe it's not that bad. They're just stressed. I'm overreacting." And that's the first danger, they make you doubt your own reality. Why do we ignore red flags? Because we want to believe in potential. Because love clouds logic. Because we've been told that being loyal means enduring mistreatment. Because we've been conditioned to see leaving as failure. But staying where you are consistently unseen, unheard, or disrespected, that's the real tragedy. Let me tell you something important, and I hope you remember it. Someone's love for you is not proven by their apologies. It's proven by their change. And your value is not determined by how much pain you can tolerate. Love should build. It should stretch us, yes, but not break us. It should challenge us, but never crush us. So what do you do when you see a red flag? You pause. You pay attention. You speak up. And if you are repeatedly dismissed, gaslit, or blamed, you protect your peace. You honor your instincts. You walk, or you run. Not because you don't love them, but because you're starting to love yourself more. Let me say something uncomfortable but true. Sometimes, the person throwing up red flags is you. Maybe you're the one deflecting accountability. Maybe you're the one projecting past wounds onto someone who doesn't deserve them. Growth starts not in blaming others, but in being honest with ourselves. That's not shame. That's courage. We've all been both the wounded and the wounders. Healing is not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming aware. If we want better relationships, we have to be willing to do the hard work of becoming better people. But no matter how much work you do, you cannot force someone else to grow. You can only invite them. And if they choose not to meet you where respect and empathy lie, you are not obligated to stay. Hear this loud and clear, you do not need someone to hit you for it to be abuse. You do not need someone to scream at you for it to be toxic. You do not need to justify your pain with proof, it is enough that it hurts. The cost of ignoring red flags is high. It can cost you your voice, your confidence, your ability to trust, your time, your light, and time is the one thing you cannot get back. But there is hope in all of this. This speech is not about fear, it's about freedom. When you start honoring red flags, something powerful happens. You stop settling. You start choosing people who see you, not just use you. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You start attracting relationships that are healthy, reciprocal, and rooted in real care. And the most important relationship, the one that sets the tone for every other, is the one you have with yourself. When you raise your standards, you raise the quality of your life. When you stop begging to be chosen, you begin choosing yourself. When you stop explaining your worth, you start embodying it. And that will scare some people. Some will call you difficult. Others will say you've changed. Good. You were never meant to stay the same. You were meant to evolve. To rise. To break cycles. To build boundaries that are not walls, but doors, with locks you control. That is not selfish. That is wise. A red flag doesn't mean someone is evil. But it does mean the relationship needs inspection, intention, and sometimes, intervention. And if none of that works, it needs to end. Because you don't fix people by bleeding for them. You don't prove your love by sacrificing your sanity. You can love someone deeply and still walk away. You can forgive someone and still say goodbye. You can be compassionate without being a doormat. Let this be your permission. You are allowed to leave anything that hurts more than it heals. And to anyone who has already walked away from a red flag relationship, celebrate that. That took strength most people never see. You didn't just leave a person. You left a pattern. You reclaimed your story. To those still in it, unsure, scared, doubting, you are not alone. You are not crazy. And you are not weak for staying a little too long. You were just hoping love would win. But now it's time to let truth win. To let peace win. To let you win. Because the right relationship will not require you to abandon yourself. It will not ask you to beg for basics. It will feel like coming home, not like walking on glass. In conclusion, love is beautiful, but love is not blind. Love is not meant to be endured, it's meant to be shared, honored, and protected. So look for the red flags. Trust what you see, but more importantly, trust what you feel. The soul always knows what the mind tries to rationalize away. And when you feel that pull to walk away, let it be the first step, not into loneliness but into the fullness of who you're becoming. Choose yourself, again and again, until it's no longer a radical act, but a natural one. The right people won't be threatened by your standards. They'll rise to meet them. And you'll finally stop surviving love, and start thriving in it. Thank you.